Chris Miles, and on today's episode of New on Music Row, we've got a brand new set of 5 picks which feature artists from Savannah, Georgia, Midland, Texas, and the beef capital of the world. Stick around. You're going to find all the details about that and the rest of the stuff we got going on in the show, including this week's new Rising Star Spotlight. You can only catch it here on the Rise Network, though. It's Chris Miles, New on Music Row's new episode is coming at you right now. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of New on Music Row. We are on episode 42. See, I told you I was going to keep track from now on. So I don't know why that's such a thing, but anyway, whatever. Let's look at the 5 picks from last week. We had Killin' Me from Parker McCullum, 100,000 streams. He's at a total of 8.6 million on that song alone. Like I told you last week, Killing Me has been out for a little bit, but it finally released to radios this past week. Be Her from Ella Langley. This song just skyrocketing. 5.6 million streams last week alone. Incredible, but her popularity is just bursting at the seams. Her and another gal who we're going to talk about in the new 5 picks of the week in just a little bit. Luke Combs' Be Like You had 6 million streams this week. And let's see, Thorns from Jelly Roll had 365,000 streams. He's over like 830,000 streams on that song. And then last but not least, the Empty Words from Corey Kent, 936,000 streams last week. So like I said last week, these are some powerhouse heavy hitters, and the numbers showing it right there. So those are the 5 picks from last week. Let's take a look at the 5 picks from this week, including a gal from Savannah, Georgia, who needs no introduction at all. I mean, her brand new album released, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and it's just skyrocketing. Everyone's saying that they're going to be crying at this year's concert. So if you've got a young adult who's going to be there, or if you're going there and you haven't listened to Megan's new album, the whole album just yet, you might want to make sure you pack yourself some extra snacks and a little bit of tissue because you might be crying. This week's selection from her is Medicine. Megan Moroney, of course, not someone that's new to this 5 picks of the week at all. Just a couple weeks ago, we featured her with Cloud 9, and she's got some other great songs as well, which she's a household name at this point. So if you don't know who Megan Moroney is, well, then check out Cloud 9 or check out Medicine, which will be on the New on Music Row playlist on Spotify today, as a matter of fact. Luke Bryan's Word on the Street coming out this week as well. Luke, of course, from Leesburg, Georgia. Last song we featured from him was Country Song Came On. And you know what? I mean, let's see. We're talking about American Idol, right? That's where a lot of people know him from, although those who knew him before, Country Girl, Shake It For Me, right? I don't want this night to end. That's My Kind of Night, right? Knocking Boots. I mean, Luke's got a ton of hits behind him, and now that it seems like he's starting to focus on some new music. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Then after that, we've got Braxton Keith, I Own This Bar. Braxton, of course, from Midland, Texas. This song is absolutely hysterical. It's about a gal and a guy who are in a bar together and clearly talking smack, or as I like to call it, bantering back and forth between each other, saying how, their life is like this, their life is like that. And Braxton Keith has an answer for pretty much everything. And then the end of the chorus, of course, says, I own this bar. It's a fun song. I think you're going to enjoy it. And if you don't know who Braxton Keith is just yet, check out I Ain't Trying, which is the last song we featured of his on the 5 picks of the week. Cozy is another great song of his, A Little Bit Closer, Baby You Do, and also Chase You Down as well. Up next, Ashley McBryde. She's, of course, from Waldron, Arkansas. Arkansas Mud is the title of her new song. She's got a couple of great songs out right now. What If We Don't is another one. We featured that, I think, at the end of last year from her. So she's starting to make a comeback. She's starting to take a little bit of a shift back to the kind of music that people used to know her for. The last album got a lot of criticism because it kind of went in a different direction and nobody was really ready for it. We also featured Rattlesnake Preacher from her as well here on the 5 Picks last year. So she's got some great stuff to take a listen to. Light On in the Kitchen and One Night Standers, a couple of my favorites from her. Last but not least, Randall King's Thinking About Drinking. Randall is from Hereford, Texas, and he's another up-and-coming star that's making a name for himself. We featured Here for the Beer a couple weeks ago. I think it was actually it was October or November. You and a Honky Tonk is another great song from him. Mirror, Mirror, check that one out. And then my favorite one is Burns Like Her, which is a great song as well. So recapping the 5 picks for this week: Medicine from Megan Moroney, Word on the Street, Luke Bryan, I Own This Bar, Braxton Keith, Arkansas Mud, Ashley McBryde, and then Thinking About Drinking from Randall King. We'll see where they end up next week. And of course, we'll recap that at the very beginning of the show like we always do. Speaking of things we always do around here, the Rising Star Spotlight is next. Kyle Clark is this week's Rising Star. He's from Jefferson, Georgia. He's got a very interesting backstory. He followed Kenny Chesney, at a very young age. He was kind of obsessed with him, so much so that he cut off the sleeves from his shirt, and he had a cowboy hat on. And he would perform in the living room in front of the TV with a plastic microphone. Remember the days when you were a kid and you used to perform in the living room and stuff? Did you ever get crazy and like write skits and that kind of stuff? Or was that just me? Anyway, he's got his self-made debut. He raised the money to produce his first album, saved up all of his high school graduation money to do so, and then he released I Hope You Will Someday on August 29th of 2025, the entire album put together because of his graduation money. He's got a new album coming out at some point this year. It's going to be called Better on a Boat. And I think you're going to want to listen to it. He's got some great stuff out there. He's also written some stuff for other artists as well. His biggest single, Hope It's Hot Out, actually is the one that kind of put him on his map. It's gone viral. It wasn't a planned single, as a matter of fact. It was written during his second ever writing trip to Nashville while he was on spring break from college. And it just kind of took off from there. Other great stuff to check out from him: First Time Feels, Tonight I Do, and Good for a Girl. Let's see. In Nashville, he had a real interesting roommate, Jacob Durrett, producer, who worked with Morgan Wallen and Breedland. And, of course, from this situation, he learned a lot of the in and outs about how to, produce his own stuff. And that all happened while the world was on shutdown, way back when the pandemic. Isn't it weird that we're saying like way back when on the pandemic, and it was what, like 5 years ago? His musical style blends traditional country themes with modern production, often, easy for me to say, right? Often featuring beach country, which is kind of no surprise, especially with the Kenny Chesney vibes that he has. His lyrics centered on love, small-town life, and faith. His song Small Town Rivalry is about or was inspired by his own high school football team at Jefferson High. He even features some of his own teammates in the music video as well. Here's the really cool thing about it, and this is for those people who, play a lot of video games or whatever, and they're like, the parents are like, you're never going to do anything with those video games. Well, here's a interesting story. So Kyle first started like getting into music and stuff like that from playing a video game called Guitar Hero. And while he was mastering the game and mashing the buttons and everything, he decided, you know what, I'm going to pick up a real guitar. So at age 13, he taught himself how to play guitar, and, well, now the rest is history. So I guess what can we say to those who are like, you're never going to do anything with those video games? Well, there you go. Anyway, I'm just kidding. He's got a lot of songwriting success as well. Like I said, beyond his solo career, he is a prolific songwriter in Nashville. He co-wrote platinum certified single Villain by Lily Rose. He's also worked with Hardy, Blake Shelton, and John Party as well. I'm looking forward to what's going to be coming out for Better on a Boat. I got a really good feeling about this. I think he's going to, I think he's going to have that summertime vibe that we've been looking for from, a newer artist. Not saying that he's going to replace Kenny Chesney by any means, not at all. But, we need another, summer fun kind of vibe guy. And I think this might be him. And that is why Kyle Clark is this week's Rising Star Spotlight. You can check out a couple of songs from him on our playlist, New on Music Roll. You'll find that on Spotify. And I hope it's hot out. I'll put on there. And I'm not sure which way I'm going to go. I've got a couple of songs of his that I like. But, look at go to the playlist and you'll see which song I put on there. Also, let's take a look at what's going on in country music history. Now, this week, today, the 27th of February, no country artists, producers, songwriters, guitarists, musicians, or anything like that I could find that had birthdays today. So we're not going to go birthday lists. We're going to pick two other birthdays. One on the rock side, born on this day in Midwest City, Oklahoma, 1954 to be exact, Neil Schon, the lead guitarist and founding member of the rock band Journey. Now, if I need to tell you who Journey is, well, you know what? Don't stop believing. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on, 1983, born on this date in Bedford, New York, was Kate Mara. She's an American actress known for her roles in House of Cards, The Martian, and then she was also in Fantastic Four. Born on this day in 1983. So happy birthday to the both of them. Taking a look at the music history, country music history more specific. 1971, Sammy Smith was at number one on the country charts with her version of Chris Christopherson's song, Help Me Make It Through the Night. I remember as a kid, I used to always go, Chris Christopherson. I used to do that in front of the mirror. I don't know why. It was like maybe it was like helping me learn how to enunciate or something, but it was always just fun to go, Chris Christopherson. I don't know. And I think he sounds like that too. But anyway, now Christopherson said that he got the inspiration from the song from an Esquire magazine interview with Frank Sinatra. And he was asked what he believed, when Frank was asked what he believed, and he said, booze, broads, or a Bible, whatever helps you make it through the night. So there you go. That's where it came from. Now, there are other versions of the song as well. In the early 70s, Lynn Anderson, Loretta Lynn, Olivia Newton-John, Skeeter Davis, Tammy Wynette, and then Dottie West as well. So a number one hit for Sammy Smith on this date, 1971. Going all the way up to 1989, Dwight Yoakam was number one on the country charts with I Sang Dixie, the second single from his Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room album. And moving ahead to 2002, Alan Jackson was number one on the U.S. country music album chart with his 10th studio album, Drive. I love that song, Daddy Let Me Drive. Oh, such a great song. The album produced Jackson's highest debuting single on the Hot Country Songs chart, number one, with Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning? Such a great song, a ballad written in response, of course, to the September 11th, 2001, the terrorist attacks that happened there. Drive, which was for his daddy, Gene. Works in Progress, and That Be All Right were also released as singles. They peaked at number one, number three, and number two, respectively. That's a look at country music history. Like we say every program, if you've got a birthday, you want me to give a birthday shout out to somebody, we can definitely do that right here in this version of the program. Hit me up, Chris_Miles_DJ on Instagram and socials and things of that nature. We can work something out, and maybe you can spend a special shout out. We could even, I got a new idea. We could have you record it, and then we could just play it in place here, and then you could say happy birthday to somebody special. So there we go. It could be like the cameo stuff, but you. So anyway, that'd be kind of cool. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the pick of the week. And this week it's a song, just like it was last week. There's a band called the Band of Heathens, which is an interesting name in and of itself. I'll tell you how they came across it in just a second. But they have a song that came out last week called Lead Don't Follow, and I just absolutely love it. It's kind of a country, soul, rock and roll kind of song. It's got a great sound. They classify themselves as a distinct mix of Americana, folk, soul, and rock and roll. Sometimes they call themselves, the country song rock and roll group, right? They also describe themselves as having a hallmark sound They even have some live recordings that they do. I think like Fish, or maybe like the Grateful Dead. Some of the things they used to do back then, right? They blend rootsy and funky elements into a lot of their stuff as well. Now, the name. The band actually never chose their name. They originally called their residency at Momo's in Austin the Good Times Supper Club. And then a local newspaper, accidentally listed them as the Heathens in a misprint. And the name stuck because of their edgy tequila-fueled shows. So there you go. They didn't start as a band, but as three separate solo artists. Ed Jundy, Gordy Quist, and then Colin Brooks, who all had Wednesday night residences at the same club. They eventually started sitting in on each other's songs, their sets, and then it kind of evolved into a full-time group. Now, Gordy owns a studio in Austin. It's called The Finishing School, and it features 3 of Freddie Mercury's actual vocal microphones. The mics, of course, were previously used by the Rolling Stones, David Bowie, and also AC/DC as well. So that's kind of cool. You can go to his studio and check out some microphones that Freddie Mercury used. That's for all the audiophiles out there. Anyway, they are pioneers of instant live music. Starting in 2012, they began recording every single show and then selling them on USB drives immediately after the performance ended. That's kind of cool. Because you get you saw the show and then you get to go home and listen to the show as well. I think that's so cool. Maybe they'll do that when they're in town. They're going to be in town. I'll tell you when. That'll be coming up in the next segment, upcoming shows. But they're known for operating outside the traditional major label music industry. They have a do-it-yourself approach to building their career. And they're kind of considered a staple on the Austin, Texas music scene, with multiple appearances on the acclaimed Austin City Limits TV show and festival as well. And their first self-titled studio album in 2008 was produced by Texas country legend Ray Wiley Hubbard. So interesting stuff. Now, you're probably going, well, Lead Don't Follow, Band of Heathens. What's some other stuff that I can listen to? Well, they're known for a song Hurricane, which is huge. I think it's got over 17, I don't know. I know it's got over 1 million streams. I know that for sure. Jack Sensation is another great song from them. I love Medicine Man. I just can't get enough of that. I can't get enough of Lead Don't Follow either. The first time I heard the song, I just fell in love with it. It's got, it's got a little bit of a Chris Stapleton vibe, but it goes so much beyond that. Some of Chris's newer stuff that blends into that folk and, more so the soul side and R&B side that he's kind of looking into. That's kind of why I probably got hooked on it. But that is the weekly pick this week. So Lead Don't Follow, the Band of Heathens. We'll have that on the playlist on Spotify. It's called New on Music Row. You can follow it and keep up to date with all the music that we talk about here on the show. Due to copyrights and all that kind of stuff, it's the only way that I can do it at this point. Eventually, at some point, we might get to where I might be able to play some clips of the song, or we'll have some things like that for you. I got questions for you before we go on to the upcoming shows. What do you think of the new look, the screens and stuff that we've been doing around, the little stuff at the bottom? You guys like all that stuff? Let me know in the comments. Always looking to see what you like and how things work for you and whatnot. And we really appreciate you watching and listening, whether it's on YouTube or if you're listening to me on Spotify or Apple Music as well. Thank you guys so much. So, upcoming shows this weekend. Only one going on tonight. South Hall is going to be at Joe's Live in Rosemont. Going to be a great show. If you're not doing anything, you can check out Joe's Live in Rosemont. It's kind of a cool little area they got going on there. There's a couple of great restaurants over there, and then there's a bowling alley, and I think there's also an Irish restaurant over there, or an Irish pub. And over the summer, they have concerts in the middle there. So it's a cool place to go see a show. Joe's Live does a lot of up-and-coming artists as well, up-and-coming country artists rather. You can see them at Joe's Live, as well as Joe's on Weed and a couple other places as well. Now, we were talking about the Band of Heathens. That was the weekly pick from the week. Well, they're going to be in town. I'm giving you a save the date here because they're going to be at Garcia's in Chicago. Garcia's Chicago was kind of inspired by, the guy from the Grateful Dead. You know what I'm talking about, right? Mr. Garcia himself, right? Jerry Garcia, right? Yeah. So it's got that kind of vibe going on, and the Band of Heathens fits right into that as well. They're going to be there on March the 18th. I will probably be there as well, checking out that show. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good one, and maybe I'll be able to interview the band. We'll see. But that is the look at the upcoming shows of the week. That's also the show for this week, the 41st episode of New on Music Row, only because you guys watch, listen, share, subscribe, and you get the word out there. And I can't thank you enough. We're coming up, we're getting close to a year now of doing this whole thing. I love you guys. I love your comments. And I just encourage you that, whatever dream it is that you're trying to pursue, don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Keep pushing. One day, eventually things will start working for you. Hard work does pay off. I'm telling you, it's real. I've lived it myself. That's going to do it for the episode this week. You guys, thank you so much for watching, listening, and subscribing like you do. Share this with your friends. Get out there. Listen to the music. It's on Spotify. New on Music Row is the playlist that it's called. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, I'll see you on the flip side.